Okay, we're back. Big hair, don't care.
Big hair. And look, I didn't do my podcast face. I came in so everyone knows how I look normally before we start recording, and I put on my face.
Love it.
I know. Okay, so we're back with Yiannah in literally Kylie's corner. I just love mentioning the corner because it's so stupid. So it's so stupid. Like, this is all I get. Like, I live in a 4-bedroom house and I literally get a fucking corner. Like, this is
Wow.
my office, right? But anyway, it's okay. I know where I stand. Um, so here is my stupid question for you today. Okay, you and I we've seen a lot of people in, like we have had readings done by a lot of different
Yes.
people. I want to hear the most stupidest, fucked up readings you've ever had. Have you? Okay, I'll start you off. I'll lube you up a little bit. Okay, this is my favorite story, by the way, and I don't think I've shared it from start to finish. Picture this. I'm in Australia. It is literally 1999. Okay. This is back like when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, right? And my girlfriend,
Obviously.
obviously, absolutely, like there was T-Rex walking down the road, right? And my girlfriend's like, you need to go see this lady. And she's American and she's in town and she's staying at the Marriott. I'll give you her phone number. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And this was like, I was new to this world. I was unsure what I was doing. Anyway, it was fucking Sylvia Brown, the Sylvia Brown. I
I
walked
love
to
that.
her suite, the penthouse suite at the Marriott, and she's sitting there and she has her assistant. And she's like, come sit down. She's like, why are you here today? And I'm like, well, fun story. I've met a man and I'm moving and I'm like 20 years old and I'm going to move across the world. And she's like, oh, honey, no, honey, that's a bad idea. And anyway, she's like, your grandma's here. And she's saying that's a bad idea. And I'm like, okay, why is it a bad idea? Because I already got my visa approved. And she's like, oh, no. Your visa is not approved, honey. You are going to have to go to Canada and then you have to stay there for about 6 years and apply for a visa from Canada. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not going to Canada.
Oh,
She's
right.
like, well, no, you got to go to Canada. And I'm like, no. So I'm arguing with the Sylvia Brown in her penthouse at the Marriott, right? And I was like, who is this bitch? Anyway, and then my friend's like, she's on the Maury show. And I'm like, what the fuck's the Maury show? So she's showing me, because I'm a Jerry Springer.
No, not Maury.
It
She
was
was on
Montel.
Montel.
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
a diehard Jerry Springer fan. And if I'm going to invest my time into anything, it's going to be little people fighting over the local prostitute, right? Versus,
I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm not going to watch Montel Williams, right? So, and anyway, so she's like, why are you done? And I'm like, I walked out. And she's like, you walked out on Sylvia. I'm like, bitch, yes, I did. I got my.
wait. Time out.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're saying you had an hour session.
Yeah. I walked out in 30 minutes. I'm still.
So she's saying to you, you're not gonna get your
No.
visa. You're gonna have to go to Canada, stay 6, and you go, stop talking.
Yeah. I said,
I'm
you're
out of
wrong.
here.
I said, you're wrong. You are incorrect because I already got my visa. So I don't need to go to Canada, number one. So I've just proved that you are incorrect. And everything you told
What'd she
me,
say?
she was like, oh, okay, honey, you already paid. You already paid. I'm like, okay, goodbye. Have a good day. And I walked out. And then I went home and I turned on, my TV. And, because this is 1999 in Australia, we had 5 channels. So I had to wait. I had to look at the TV guide to see when Montel Williams is on and go watch her. And I was just like, what a fraud. What a fraud. Like, she's such a bitch, right? And I'm just like, why does she do this? And I guess that's how she gets the viewership, right? And that she gets. And I wanted to talk about like these renowned psychics, and I'm just using Sylvia Brown as an example because this is not the first time I've seen it. They get trickled with enough information to make you believe that what they are sharing with you has credibility. But then they go on these tangents of like flamboyantness or some entertainment factor, right? and you're expected to believe it, right? Because they've
So,
come in with some credibility in the beginning.
but what do you think it is about Sylvia? Do you think she had the gift, but she just was out of touch that day? Or do you think she's just a straight up fraud?
I think she gets trickled enough information. I think she then takes and runs with it and puts in her own 2 cents in order to feel, like if I say to you, "Oh, Yiannah, your grandma's behind you and she loves you so much," and you're like, "Oh, Baba," right? Give me a hug, right? And then I'm going to be like, "You're going to get in the car and you're going to run a red light today." And you're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna get in my car because I might run a red light." Like, you're making reality happen by that message, right? But in actual fact, I just pulled that out of my ass cheeks. It's not going to happen for you today. I can guarantee it's not gonna happen for you today. But we give so much, like, authority to some of these healers
Absolutely.
and psychics, and it just gives me the shits. So I know you must have a story to share of your experiences. I wanna
I just can't share it.
Is it me?
No.
Okay, that's good. Whew! Okay, I just
No, 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 no.
okay. Can you change
Well,
your
it
names?
okay, so let me give you a few different things.
Okay.
I Brian, who I'm dating now,
Mhm.
17 years ago is when I met him. 17 years ago is when we originally were dating. And for whatever reasons, we broke up. And
Mhm.
I was devastated. And that's why I went to go see somebody. And she says to me, "Nope, forget about him. That's done. That's gone. That's in the past. You got all these other things going on." And so, but in my heart, I was like, that doesn't, for me, like the connection's way too strong for me to say that. Then she says to me, and this is where they can lead you, right
Mhm.
or wrong. I don't know. On a different session, somebody said to me, "You're going to meet your husband from like a friend of a friend. Like you're going to go somewhere and they're going to be there with a friend and you'll be there with a friend, whatever." And sure enough, the first time I was in that situation, like a year or so after that, I consciously remember, sitting, my girlfriend came into town because she was dating somebody. And she said to me, she was staying with me. She goes, "Hey, why don't you come with me and my boyfriend? We're going to go get coffee and dinner. He's going to bring his friend too." I was like, okay. I knew the friend. I was like, okay, he's funny, whatever. And we are sitting at the table, and the thought pops in my mind that she said that to me. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what if this is the situation? And then I started to view that man differently than I would have normally.
Mhm.
I'm blaming Kylie for making me share this, okay? But I just want to say, that man is a wonderful man,
Mhm.
and that man turned out to be my husband and
Mhm.
the father of my child.
Mhm.
Wonderful man, we were just not compatible. It just we
Absolutely.
were not. But I kept hearing, because there were a few times where I felt like this marriage is not what I thought it was gonna be, because I was always told, "Happy marriage, happy marriage."
Mhm.
I went to consult, a clairvoyant twice before I actually left or, decided to divorce. And, the first time she says, "No, no, no, no divorce. You guys are gonna get through this. You're gonna be so happy. Everything's gonna be fine." So I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it another chance. I gave it another chance. It didn't work out. I go back. I asked for a divorce. I call her that night. She wasn't even working. I'm like, her husband answered. I'm like, I need to see her, to talk to her. Not because I wanted her to tell me. At that point, I didn't need her to tell me yes or no. What I was actually seeking was approval from God, to be
Ah,
completely honest.
yep.
And now she didn't know anything that was going on. She didn't know those issues still. As far as she knew, I was happily married and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we get on the phone, and the first thing she says to me is, you can leave. And I was like, what? She goes, you can leave. Whatever you have to do, you're done. You can go. And I said, I just want to make sure that, God's okay with that. And she goes, absolutely. Go.
Wow.
Then I was always told about Brian. No, 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 no. And now Brian and I, for just over a year now, are in a beautiful, loving everything.
Right.
And I sit here and I think to myself, I put so much value into what I was told that I allowed it to be comfort for me and direction for me and knowledge. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a clear connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's helping guide me. I put so much into that where it's twofold. It is the why did I do that? My life could have been completely different. But then it's also the was that meant to happen that way? Knowing that I needed that assistance
Mm-hmm.
to guide me to where I am today. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So interestingly enough, the first reading I ever had in my entire life, I think I was 25 or 26, and it was this cute old woman from Wisconsin, and it was a phone call, and she actually sent me the DVD recording.
That's legit.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
legit.
I don't even have a DVD player, okay? Anyway, so but those notes, I'll never forget them because she has been the most dead on,
Mm-hmm.
dead on I had ever. And she had told me, Brian and I, she's like, the passion, that's a thing, whatever. But the information she gave me was so dead on that every single time after that, I kind of always led back to her.
Isn't that
And
great?
it wasn't like, the way she explained it was that she goes, for you, your life is in these 14-year cycles, which interestingly enough, soul contracts is 7-year cycles. So every 2 cycles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the way she did, 0 to 14, 14 to 28, 28 to 42, which I'm just ending right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every single phase that she laid out has panned out the exact way she said it.
Isn't that crazy?
There's something so comforting about her too, where like I can't. She didn't see my face. It was a phone. It was just whatever it was. She couldn't see my expression, and she didn't sit there going, "Oh, this is why I'm telling you the story." She had said to me, in previous lifetimes, you wanted change, you wanted to do better for yourself, but your body wouldn't allow you to make the change.
Interesting.
In this life, your head will want to make changes and your body will allow you to make the changes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then she said, you also asked for guides and your team essentially to be available for you to make you and to help you and direct you to everything you need to accomplish. They're here, they're hands-on. Anything you need, you just ask and they'll be there. And it's interesting because when I connect that to my soul contract stuff, my biggest challenge is that focus. You lose focus, so you're all over the place. But I know I'm on a very specific, focused
Mm-hmm.
mission in this lifetime. And I see how my team, and through readings and through friends and through jobs and through everything, how it's led me,
Mm-hmm.
very specifically led me to wherever I needed to go and whatever this moment is.
Right.
So I feel like I kind of digress from your question,
No, I
but
get it. I get it. And
it's a toss up.
right. And I think that it demonstrates beautifully. Sometimes you just know that the guidance is not resonating. You just know this is not my reality, right? And there are times when you hear something and you're like, you know what, I could entertain that, or I could actually create that. And I think that in elements over your life, you have probably had all three, where
100%.
you felt a part of the story resonated with meeting the guy at the restaurant, right? Um, and maybe creating something or holding on to something because someone else said that this was meant to be destined. And then there are points where you're like, no, bitch, this is not it. This is a huge red flag. The flags are flagging, right? So I think that if anything, I don't know if it comes with age and wisdom of discerning between the three of them, but this is why I'm at an age where I just don't seek out psychics or mediums for myself.
Right. Right.
You reach that point as well? Or do you
I did.
occasionally like, I want to kind of have a little tittle into what they
No, I reached that point last year when shit kind of hit the fan for me a little bit.
Mhm.
And I mean, you know this.
Yeah.
I think one time, we us five, we have fun, we pull out the rods.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't, you're like, why are you so quiet? I'm usually the first one to be like, I got a question, I got a question.
Right.
And it was just one of those where I'm like, I'm tired of knowing. And it's interesting because every Wednesday night we have family dinner at my house.
Mm.
My mom comes, my girlfriends come, whatever. We have all seen this same clairvoyant multiple different times over a span of, 15 years, whatever. And my mother and my girlfriend were like spent half of dinner talking about how the clairvoyant that they've been to hasn't said not a single thing that has actually transpired. Nothing.
Right.
And she's a hefty price tag,
Right.
And we're just like cracking up. But why do you still go back? There's something that people seek, whether it's comfort, the idea of their family being around, maybe some direction, whatever it is.
Mhm.
I know within me at some point, if I get that opportunity, or like if something pops up, or if you're like, hey, Yiannah, like I've got this message for you, I'd probably be like, okay, tell me.
Right.
I wouldn't be like, no, the rest of my life, I never want to know anything, because that's not who I am. I'm a spiritual being. I live and breathe it.
Yep.
But there is something too, even when we're not getting anything concrete, we somehow still at some point gravitate back to the idea of whatever this whole mysticism, clairvoyant, medium, psychic, whatever that is.
Mhm.
But imagine what your life would have been like had Sylvia Brown scared you and you were like, oh, I don't know if I can risk this, and you just never tried.
You know what? It is such a testament, and I give myself a pat on the back. Pat on the back.
Yeah.
Being that young, because I made like major life decisions when I was in my late teens and even in my teens. And I was always guided by, you know what? Everything around me will fail me. That's my mentality. I remember that. That was my mentality at the time because there was a lot of trauma back then. Everything around me, I have known to fail me, but my intuition will never. And that is what I've stuck with in everything. I'm like, does this feel right? No. Is it mine or is it external? If it's mine, I own my bullshit. If it's external, I'm like, I don't want that in my energy. I will get it out. Right. But I think that is such a thing. Like, if you reach that point of like, this is bullshit, this doesn't resonate, I don't even want to seek out the messages. I think we've just I don't know if it's an age thing or if it's a collective thing. It's interesting because I find that, and I don't know if it's because I'm resonating at that energy too, but I'm not getting as many clients who want to talk about the future. They don't want the fortune telling. They want that, I want to connect to my guide. How am I getting messages? Well, I want confirmation I'm on the right path. It's not like, oh my God, I can't stand that. I met a man on Tinder. He's my husband. I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Kylie, that was me at one point, okay?
no, she didn't do Tinder. Like, we would have had words.
No, but I remember at one point being like, where is he? Because society.
Right, but
And
you don't go on one date to the Viper Room, right, and be like, "Oh, I met this dreamy guy for an hour. Is he my husband?" Bitch, stop. Like, I'll refund.
well, I'm a romantic, Kylie.
I know.
So
Die hard.
of course, right away when I'm on that first date, I'm like, could this be somebody I can spend the rest of my life with?
Oh, no.
Is there potential? Yeah, because that is my
That's how you're
nature. I know that is
yeah.
not yours.
No, that
I mean, okay, so total sideswipe.
Right.
What about Mirko made you go, I need to leave this country and be with this man?
So it's a really funny story and it's quite long and I have to keep it short. So basically, I make fun of my 12-year-old for wanting to do Ouija. I was knee deep in Ouija when I was about 14 to 15, 16. Like it was an obsession. A lot of dangerous stuff happened. We possessed a cat. Anyway, it's a whole story. That I asked the board, who am I going to marry? And it spelt out Mirko's name. And I'm like,
No.
fuck is what Mirko? What is that name? Like, that's not even an Australian name. So I'm like, no, right? And then fast forward, I'm in a very serious relationship at like 18. There's talk of getting engaged. I'm 18, Yiannah, 18, right? I almost married this other guy, right? Yeah, this is a whole story, right? Anyway, he was something, and anyway, then I met Mirko online and I'm like, oh my God, it's the same name as the Ouija board. And then I didn't pursue it. I then, got back to the guy that we were going to get engaged. I was,
But hold on. When you say I met him online, that was the days of like AIM, like AOL,
exactly. This was Yahoo Chat.
chat rooms,
Yeah.
and yeah, okay.
And then we were chatting and then we were like friends or whatever. And then I went to his name was John. I know John seems to be a lovely name for gentlemen. And so we were going down that road of getting engaged, right? He's like, I've bought the ring and whatever. And then John had a complete psychotic breakdown. He's like, who is this Mirko guy? And I'm like, this is someone I spoke to like 2 years ago. Like, what the fuck's your problem? And anyway, we back in the day was sending snail mail to each other, and he found the letters that I'd had in the back of my closet, and it was very benign. He got all of that stuff, threw it off the overpass of a freeway. Psychotic. Follow me for more love advice. And then when we broke up, I was like, I'm done. And then he went down onto the freeway, drunk off his ass, and managed to find one of the letters. So he gave me back to the corner of the letter, and it had Mirko's number on it. I called the number.
Come on.
I know. I called the number, and this was just as 9/11 happened. I called the number, and I'm like, hello. And it was Mirko's mum, and she's like, I remember him talking about you, but we're moving in a week. Here is our new number. So if I waited an extra few days, I would not have been able to get in contact with him. So then I called him, and at that point, I'm like, there is something here. And then I got my visa. I came over on a vacation. I was a complete hoe in LA. And then there you go. Sealed deal. One sample. You can't go back. And here we go. 20 years wedding anniversary in like 2 weeks.
Well, congratulations.
I know, congratulations on being a hoe. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
No, but can you imagine your daughter right now at 18 being like, I'm going to
Hell no.
Italy for
And
some guy.
no. At that point, I'd be like, I'll buy you a Ouija board. I'll buy you whatever you want. Let's just go. No, I know. And I think back to that and I'm like, what an idiot. Because who leaves? I've never been on a plane. My first plane ride was to LA, but everything was so serendipitous. Like I'm on Air New Zealand and I was this old lady and she's like, I'm going home to see my granddaughter who's your age. We held hands that whole 5-hour flight and we
Oh,
bonded, you know what I mean? And then I get to LA and then it was just like a series of events. Like you just know everything's so easy. Everything was in the flow, right? And then I'm over here going, suck it, Sylvia Brown. Like you were wrong. And then, and it all worked out. But it's always been easy and it's always been like that where I've trusted like without a doubt. Without a doubt. And if it led me down a bad path, I'd be like, what has bitch got to learn today? You know?
right,
That is
right.
important. And that's why I've stopped seeing psychic mediums. I did see one per Lauren's recommendation. And you know what? She did not give me any fortune telling. That was Catherine. She
Okay.
didn't give me any fortune telling. It was just confirmation. But it's like, okay, I guess I don't, that confirms me I don't need it. And that's
Right. When you get confirmation
yes.
of them telling you the things that you're already doing or you kind of already know,
Yep.
then you go, okay, I feel validated and I don't need to do this for quite a while.
No. No, exactly. And you don't seek that external validation because you've already got the internal validation. Like,
Yeah.
you get to that
Yeah.
point too. I promise you, if you're at that point, if you're watching this and you're like, "Oh, I need a hook up to a psychic." When you don't need that, you're just like, "You know what? Cool. Whatever. Whatever."
And if you're ever psychic shopping, just put down your wallet and just walk away. Just give yourself
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that is crazy. I actually know somebody who her and I used to be really close, and she had like 5 or 6 different clairvoyants, mediums, psychics, whatever that she knew.
Red flag.
And whenever she had reading with one, she'd have reading with all 5 to validate like what they were all and I was like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? It was insane. And I remember one of them, there was a group, there was one night, they called it like a gala where there was a whole bunch of mediums. You pay like a one price at the door and they give out readings all night.
Mhm.
And one of them called her out in front of this packed room. You have to stop psychic shopping. Stop.
Wow.
Just stop doing
Ballsy.
it.
I love that. Because,
It was
everyone
amazing.
wants this, right? So they're not going to tell her to stop because then they don't want this to stop, right? And
Correct.
it shits me. Absolutely
Oh,
shits
yeah. It was
her being
she was so mad, but I was like, "Oh, thank God, like, somebody else said it," because it was getting insane.
right.
So if you're a psychic shopper, cut it out.
Not here.
Don't do it.
Not here.
Have the patience.
Absolutely.
God or the universe will guide you.
Mhm.
So just take a deep breath,
Absolutely.
okay?
Trust yourself.
Or come yeah, exactly. Come to
For
Kylie.
me,
Kylie will tell you how it is.
you have to be ready to have a conversation with me because I'm not like other stuff. I'm just saying.
Agreed, agreed. I know.
Is this a good night to wrap this up in a little bow with?
Yes, and if whoever's listening, whatever crazy stories you have, share them below. Um, we've all had a journey. If you've been to a medium at some point, you've heard something that either didn't resonate or changed your life, or you followed and it didn't pan out, whatever it is, share your story below. Let us hear it and be a part of that journey. Like, share, subscribe. I'm taking over Kylie's
That's
job right now
I'm okay
because
with that because I have to go back to doing hosting duties when I interview the next ladies on the podcast. But I was just gonna say, if you wanna comment below, I'm happy to judge along with you because you
100%.
need to be called out. Anyway, this was fun.
This was fun. Until next time, Kylie.
Absolutely. Peace out.